All right, this is Alex from Mindful Attraction 2.0, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make a man fall madly in love with you, going from liking to loving you. You see, and that's a very difficult transition for a lot of women because a lot of the times they know how to make a guy like them, right? They know how to make him interested, right? But to go the next step is the problem, and that's what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you guys a different way of doing it where you guys wouldn't imagine kind of works, but it does. All right. So for those who need one-on-one coaching, just go to mindfulattraction.org. You guys will see the link below in the description and the comments. And for those who want to attend my live seminar in New York City in July 8th and 9th, you can also go to the link below. I'm gonna be doing an LA seminar sometime in August after the July one. So just keep that in mind. I should definitely open up the sign up forms for that and sometime next week, okay? But for that one, I'm gonna require a cap, a certain amount of people that need to attend in order for me to cover my costs of going and accommodations and all that sort of stuff. And today I was gonna do my live podcast, but I got caught up with stuff because I was moving into a new office today. And so tomorrow I'm gonna be doing the live podcast. Should be around noon, something like that, around 1 or noon. But I'm gonna be doing an interview at that time, so it's gonna be around that time, right after I do my live stream. All right. Okay. So let me check the comments before I start, and we get started. La 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 la. Okay. All right. So essentially, give me a second. Essentially, many women struggle with making a man fall in love with them. You see, they believe that in order to make a man fall in love with you, it requires aggressive and direct action, which is to say, telling him what you want in the relationship, trying to impress him with your words, and they believe that in order to make him love you, you have to impress him with awesome traits about you, with awesome techniques, and with that new blowjob tactic, like that gets him interested. Trust me, that gets him interested. That'll get me interested, but to get the person to love you is a little bit deeper than that. It requires more than superficial aspects of yourself. You see, and the truth is that in order to make a guy fall in love with you, it must be done unintentionally, or at least appear to be unintentionally. Most women don't struggle with making a man want them. You see, it's love that's a problem, and that's why you guys are here, right? To make a guy love you, you must first get him to be interested in you, and make yourself the weak one. You see, not weak in terms of physically and inherently, but more the one that cannot control themselves around them, the one who cannot control your emotions in front of the man that you like. This is done through a few ways. All right. For example, we're not gonna go deep into the superficial way of how to do it, but I'm gonna give you guys a very quick excerpt about how to do it a superficial way in terms of making him feel like you need him, right? So for example, the superficial way will be responding fast to his text messages, validating his ego, praising him, complimenting him, making him feel strong. Those are all superficial ways how to do it, but they don't go as deep as the one that I'm gonna show you. You see, these are just quick fixes, quick little reaction that says, oh, it's working, but it's not permanent. Now, mind you, when it comes to making someone love you, this is not about forcing the issue. This is more about if it's in there, I'm gonna show you how to bring it out. But if it's not in there, you can't bring it out, no matter how much you try. So this is not about manipulation. This is more about allowing the flow to flow, allowing the love to flow through him because it was already there. You're not creating it. You see what I'm saying? So some people are just not meant to love each other. Okay? So this is done through, so another way for you to do the superficial way, which is not the way I'm going to be teaching you guys, but I'm just going to put it out there for those who are curious, is confessing to a wrongdoing that will reduce his suspicion to you. This is actually kind of important because a lot of the times when you want a relationship, the guy's going to feel it. They're going to feel that you have a underlying intention to make him to commit, you see, and that makes the guy resist. That puts up resistance, especially if the guy's noticing that you're being very pushy, right? So by confessing to a wrongdoing, it will lower his own resistance. It's important to do this because if there's resistance, then he's not gonna allow himself to love you because he feels like you're trying to manipulate him. When he sees those feeds of you watching my channel, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck is you doing?" You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. So the best way to do it is the way that I want you guys to do it is to allow your weakness, the one thing that you try to hide, the one thing that you try to suppress, to become your strength. It's an alchemy. the art of turning base metal into gold, like Eckhart Tolle says. All right. So we all have weaknesses, and that's the beauty of it, that we repress because of fear of losing the person. You see, as long as you don't repress it, the weakness can be used as a strength, wherein he lowers his resistance and sets the proper ground to allow love to flow through him. You see, it allows you to transmute his desire into love, only done through weakness, where he desires you, and as soon as you allow him to see a glimpse of your weaknesses as a human being, it allows that sympathy to be transmuted into love, potentially. You see? But it has to be done from time to time, like allowing him to see your weaknesses. It cannot be a thing that happens all the time, or else you just be a cycle. It has to be occasional glimpses into your psyche. This allows you to go from just being a sexual woman, just being a one-sided person that just exudes sexuality, to a human being that's flawed and who wants to be loved. This arises in almost every human and in almost every man, sympathy, which that sympathy could turn lust into love. You see what I'm saying? 1 second. Ruth, don't let me ban you from this for saying that you don't hear shit. All right. So, so let's suppose that you are an emotion. That let's say your weakness is being an emotional person, right? Or you having trust issues, like I read from, like I models, like I read from you, like, yeah, or having trust issues, right? Or you get sad from time to time, right? Allow yourself to put it out there more than usual. For example, you don't show all the time, right? But just have little moments where you lay it on a little bit too strong. That fear of being alone, that sadness, that emotional side. You show it, but you throw it very hard, but then you back it off. You just show them a little glimpse into that. This will give you a good polarizing effect that's needed to make you see you in another light. You see, wherein you're not just a sexy person, right? But you also have another aspect of yourself that's also as polarizing. Because most of the time, a lot of women only want to show one side, one good side, right? But it doesn't make you human. They just see you as an object. But you have to show another side. Much better if it's weak, because then it's going to be able to relate to you and understand you at a deeper level, right? So let's say that you are a bit emotional, right? And you try to hide it. Or let's say that you really miss them, but you try to hide it, because that's normal. That's what I would do too, right? If I miss someone and I don't want to, and I'm afraid of them rejecting me, I'm not going to show that, right? And that's going to sabotage me, right? So you wouldn't be as charming, as seductive if you hide that. So what I want you to do is to actually show that from time to time, because then it's going to make you, he's going to feel that sympathy towards you. That sympathy is going to make him grow closer to you, because it's layered under that desire for sexual desire for you, and that sexual desire is going to make him go to you. The sympathy is going to make him see you deeper than just that sexual person, and hopefully love arises from that. You see, you have to have men sense you. In addition to that, you have to, it cannot be, you have to hint it. You see, you have to allow men to sense your softer side, you see, at a subtle level. For example, with me, I could be a very confident person, right? I like to think that I am, right? But at times I could get emotional. Not emotional like, oh my God, let's watch Netflix, eat ice cream, and cry. No, I'm not talking about that, right? I'm talking about that at times I get frustrated a lot. I get angry sometimes, right? I have impulses that sometimes I cannot control. And most of the time, most people try to hide that, right? Or let's say sometimes I feel scared, or whatever. Most guys will try to hide it, right? But little do they know that they actually allow women to glimpse at that little side of you, that soft side that's being masqueraded by strong masculine surface level identity. Then the woman's gonna see you from another light, and she's gonna actually like you more, trust you more, understand you more, because we all relate to pain. You see, we find less relatableness in pleasure and people who are exalted, but we relate more to people who are humbled, who are down, and that's how we able to. That's how we allow people to permeate more outside of the permeate our surface level personality to see who we really are. So in your case, you have to have that. You have to not just have that weak side, right? But you also have to have that confident side, an opposite side of you that is as extreme as the side that you're trying to hide. You see, so if you have that sexual aura, then you want to have that quality of you, that of the little girl who needs a savior. You know, the one who needs someone to help her out at this or that, right? So it's all about hint. It's all about with this tactic, you validate the man's masculinity because you say, I'm confident, but around you, I'm weak. Around you, I cannot control myself. Around, I want to be around you more. And I'm gonna show you the twist to this. And just keep watching. There's a little twist to this at the end, right? So so anyways, and let's keep talking because this is like a very deep topic, right? So as soon as you do this, right, as soon as you allow him to feel that masculinity, as soon as you show him that you cannot control yourself around him, that you want him, that you gotta keep responding to him, that you want his attention all the time, that you feel good around him and you validate him, right? And you make him feel strong, right? And then you twist it around and you back off. You twist it around and you back off. Once he feels that he controls you, you back off. Once he feels that you are depending on him and that you stroke his ego, you back off. Suddenly, you don't respond to his phone calls as often or his text messages. You take a bit longer to respond and you start acting a little bit bored around them and when you guys are talking. Not a lot of LOLs, not overly, but just a bit. Subtleness. Something that he just like, you know what, lately she hasn't been as excited. Lately she's been a little busy. This will stir up his own insecurities. You see, and guess what? Who did he derive his self-esteem from? He got that from you because you validated him. Now, who's in control? You are. You see, so you increase it twofold by seeming interested in somebody else. I think this is the part that gets even more fucked up, right? Wherein you show you show interest, back off, and then you make it even worse by being interested in somebody else. Now, I'm not telling you to be interested in somebody else because you want to cover your tracks, right? Make sure to cover your tracks by the guy that you're interested in is gay. For example, just an example, like let's say that he's gay, right? You don't let him know he's gay. You talk about, oh, I just started working with this new guy. He's awesome. Or I'm hanging out with my friend, blah, 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 blah. You make him question, what the fuck? Why are you hanging out with this dude? Who is this guy? And as soon as he feels that insecurity, he's gonna be like, oh, what the hell are you talking about? He's not straight. I mean, he's not straight. He's got, oh, okay. The point is, the damage has already been done. You see, and in addition to you backing off, he's gonna feel the need to regain what he lost. Or another one that you could do, you don't have to do this. Well, you could attend like a salsa class or a class where there's a lot of people, including men. Why? Because if he notices that you're acting a little bit bored, not texting as much, not responding as much, and then going to a salsa class, you don't have to say that there's guys there, but he's gonna notice. And he's gonna mix up he's gonna know that there's a correlation between you not responding and you starting to go to salsa class. You see, these are things that guys are gonna add up in their minds. And that's gonna make him chase even harder. But the point is that the reason why you want to say that you're going to these things is because it's more of a hint. It's a puzzle that if you put them together, is going to add up to something that he doesn't want. Now, the reason why I want you to cover your tracks is because when he questions you about it, you want to have clear evidence that nothing's happening. Why? Because this is something you planned. You know what I'm saying? And also because he knows that you cannot control yourself. Because in the past, you've shown that you couldn't control yourself around them, that you had to respond fast. The fact that you're controlling yourself around him says something about himself. So when people realize that your love is not unconditional, because that's a problem, is that when people believe that your love is unconditional, they take you for granted. That's what tends to happen. But when they realize that your love is conditional, that if you don't try to keep me interested, I might lose interest, you begin to work harder for their attention. Similar to growing up and knowing that our parents get mad at us if we misbehave. Holy shit, like if I misbehave, my mom will retract from me. If I misbehave, she's gonna get mad at me and I don't want that. So let me work harder to behave so I can please her, right? So this potential threat of losing the person that stirs up in us a fear and anxiety, the right kind, that makes the person want us even more. And that's how it's done. And and I know that it may seem complicated, but it really isn't. To put in short words, it's all about showing a lot of interest, showing that you cannot control yourself around the person, right? And then strategically taking a step back, strategically acting interested, and even better, including a triangle, talking about somebody else, talking about how you admire this one guy. And then when he feels that insecurity, you make sure you tell him that you're gay, stuff like that. Or talking about how you're going to salsa class, how you started going to salsa class, and how everyone is such a good dancer, and all that sort of stuff. And that's gonna make him think like, oh fuck, so wait a minute. So she started backing off during this time, and it was during this time that she started doing this. And that's how you be able to make him want you more, make him fall in love with you. Now, mind you, some guys are not meant to love you. It's that simple. Some guys are not meant to love you, right? And so if the person doesn't love you, then it's not really gonna work out. You're gonna make him want you more temporarily, but to love you, not gonna happen because it's not really there. You see what I'm saying? All right, let me read this. By the way, whoever said I can't hear you, you were just kidding around. Not for nothing, but if you do that again, I'm gonna see a way if I could ban you from this. Because honestly, God, if whoever do that and they don't refresh their messages, their YouTube page, people, this is live for those who don't know. If you don't refresh your page and you cannot hear me, and I read that and that messes me up, like honestly, God, I'm banning. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna ask someone if I could ban you because that really does mess me up. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't read the comments no more. Like I don't read the comments no more because of that kind of crap. Um, so let me see. Let me read some of the comments. What if he's stubborn and likes playing hard to get or loves teasing you? That's fine, right? Then then you do the same thing. Now look, it depends how stubborn he is. If he's stubborn in terms of you always have to come to me, and I'm never coming to you, then then he's little bit, he has too much of an ego. So the best way to do this is to literally take a step back and force him to come to you. Even worse, you take a step back, insinuate that you're seeing somebody else. Have a friend comment on your status a little bit more. Have a friend comment on your photos a little bit more. Trust me, he's gonna notice. You see, or have your friend tag you on certain posts a little bit more if he's on your social media. Because I can promise you that if he's playing hard to get and suddenly he sees somebody interested in you, trust me, that shit's gonna go out the window. That game, it's gonna go out the window, and I know that from experience. Let me see. And now, if he doesn't show any emotions to you backing off, then I guess that means then it's already written on the wall how that phrase goes. So then everything's written on the wall in terms of it's pretty obvious why he doesn't show any emotions to you backing off because he doesn't care. You see, what does my BF always talk about his ex? Perhaps he's not over her. You know, um, there's a good possibility that he might just trying to make you jealous, or he doesn't know the proper etiquettes of having a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Um, Let me see. Does this work for men that are inexperienced with dating? Yeah, it works for men who are experienced in dating. Alex, how long do you wait until you reach out to him again after he pulled away? Give yourself a week, 2 weeks, and then don't respond. You know, if you're noticing that he doesn't respond to you, delete his number, and when he sends you a message, send him the "Who's this?" message. Who this? Because if he doesn't respond, that says a lot. Like, trust me, man. If a guy doesn't respond, I mean, there is no rocket science behind it. There's no mystery behind it. It's pretty fucking obvious why he's not responding. Let me read some of these comments. Let me see. How do you deal with someone who is jealous? Moreover, if you see red flags, how do you deal with it? It's pretty obvious. You guys ready? All right. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, Alex from mindfulattraction.org. Have a good day. Bye bye.